I really appreciate you joining me today, and these are some updates coming from London. This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. This is a roundup of stories that have occurred in the last few weeks in London. Thank you to UK News and Pictures for the coverage of the scene in Old Kent Road. This was a double stabbing that took place at 10 to 11 in the evening on the 27th of August, and the London Ambulance Service attended to reports of a stabbing, and they found two boys, both aged 17 years old, and they both had stab wounds. This was very near to the McDonald's, and footage from the scene shows the cordon in place and the large diversions to traffic that were occurring the day after. One of the boys was taken to hospital in a life-threatening condition, and sadly on Wednesday the 3rd of September, yesterday, he sadly died. He has now been named as Yeray Sanchez-Morales, and the second victim was taken to hospital where his injuries were deemed non-life-threatening and he has since been discharged. Shortly after the incident, a 17-year-old boy was arrested by police on suspicion of attempted murder. He was taken into custody and later released on bail. On Monday the 1st of September, a 15-year-old boy was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. But following the death of Morales, he was charged with murder, grievous bodily harm and possession of a defensive weapon. He is to appear at Bromley Magistrates Court on the 4th of September, and he cannot be named for legal reasons. Detective Chief Inspector Kate Blackburn of the Specialist Crime South said, "Our thoughts are with Yeray's family at this unimaginably difficult time. They are being supported by specially trained police, and the incident took place in the middle of the road outside the McDonald's on Old Kent Road. There were many witnesses, and the police are wondering if anybody was in the local area and has footage to get in touch. And my condolences I wish to send to the family of Yeray, and will definitely keep you updated on the outcome of that trial that would now follow." For this next story, it's in relation to an incident that took place near to a football match, which was the Chelsea match, on the 30th of August 2025. At 2 p.m, police received reports of an armed man dressed in tactical gear walking down the street. Members of the public had rang the police to say that they'd seen him walking in the vicinity of Fulham Broadway Station wearing military-style tactical clothing, a helmet and what appeared to be a handgun. The individual was also reported to be carrying a case on his back, which appeared to transport longer weapons. The area was very busy at the time, and there was crowds leaving Stamford Bridge, where a match between Chelsea and Fulham had just finished. While the callers could not be sure the weapons were real, they were concerned enough to ring the police. Armed officers were dispatched, but given the potential risk, unarmed officers who were on duty at the match also responded. Following the suspect walking towards the busy crowd and the nearby station, they intervened and tackled him to the floor. They secured what appeared to be a handgun from his holster on his leg and a rifle from the bag that was on his back. The weapons were quickly confirmed to be imitations, but it later emerged that while they had been brightly coloured at first, they had since been sprayed black to make them look more realistic. The individual carrying them was 16 years old, and he was arrested on suspicion of being in possession of imitation firearms and was taken into custody. He later explained in an interview that he was on his way to a nearby Comic-Con event that weekend and was in costume. Inspector Rob McDonald, who is the match commander for the fixture that day, said this was a highly unusual and concerning situation, and the incident occurred at the worst possible time. The match had not long finished and 40,000 spectators were leaving the stadium, and we received information about a person dressed in black wearing a ballistic helmet and carrying firearms, and he was heading towards a major transport hub. The unarmed officers who spotted the suspect acted spontaneously and with incredible bravery, and they tackled him to the ground to secure the firearms without any thought for their own personal safety. Only the tens of thousands of football fans that was in the immediate area. The commander in charge of policing across London on the day of the incident said, "These officers demonstrated quick thinking and truly impressive bravery in the way they responded to the incident. While we believe the suspect was potentially armed with multiple weapons, they were all unarmed, but they put the safety of themselves at risk to try to make sure the public was safe. I hope this incident serves as a reminder to those that engage in cosplay or other activities that involves dressing up as characters where weapons or armour are involved. Such activity should take place in an organised environment where it's obvious to everybody what is going on." So this story was very well shared on social media, and a lot of pages were sharing it, saying that they believed this was a terrorist attack. And as I said early on, it was very clear that this was a young teenager that was playing cosplay. He was dressed as a Resident Evil character. And I think it's really important to make sure these stories are explained correctly to avoid anybody getting the wrong idea and believing this was something serious and people's lives were actually in danger. For this next story, we need to go to Greenwich, where Dave Nathan reported from the scene on the 27th of August when police responded to reports of a stabbing at a residential address on Trafalgar Road, SE10, at 10 past 10 on the evening on Wednesday. Despite the best efforts of emergency services, including the London Air Ambulance and paramedics on the London Ambulance Service, the woman died from her injuries at the scene. They await formal identification and a post-mortem examination has been conducted. At the scene, a 33-year-old man, who is believed to be known to her, was arrested on suspicion of murder. He remains in hospital with life-threatening injuries. Detective Inspector Mark Franklin, who's leading the investigation, said, "Our thoughts are with the victim's family at this difficult time, and they are being supported by specially trained police. We know this incident will cause great concern to the local community, and while we are confident it's an isolated incident, there will be an increased police presence in the area to reassure locals." And the police have said, finally, that the investigation is continuing, but at this moment in time it looks like this may have been a domestic incident, somebody known to the victim via relation, or maybe a husband or boyfriend. So I want to send my condolences to the victim's family. We'll definitely update you on our social medias of her identity and the trial, or potentially whatever follows in relation to this case. Dave Nathan also attended another scene at 2:15 on the 29th of August, when police were called to reports of a stabbing on Goldbourne Road in West London, and Met Police attended the scene alongside the ambulance service and also the air ambulance, where they found a 24-year-old male with a stab wound to his hand. He was taken to hospital where his condition was not believed to be life-threatening, and police arrested two men aged 27 and 25 on suspicion of grievous bodily harm. So I really appreciate you joining me for some of these updates. There's more London news on the way very soon, and also updates from Birmingham. Don't forget to send your stories to scarcitystudios@gmail.com and follow on Telegram, Instagram, Twitter and also TikTok. And I'll be back again shortly. Peace.